Hey, how's it going, Limitless family? So excited to be back together in this new year. And we wanted to kick the year off by actually finishing up this process that we were going through, looking at some of the foundational names and titles that we attribute to God, things about Him that are so foundational to our relationship with Him and how we interact with Him and how we look at Scripture and how He interacts with us. And this one, you guys, is huge. And it's one I wanted to really have us start the year off with, because this is so big and so foundational that we can go through the rest of the year. We can go into whatever we're talking about next. We're going to be getting into, Javon's going to be walking us through our prayer book, and we're actually going to be going through that. And this is so important to keep in mind as we live and just interact with God and we interact with one another. This is really important. And this we're going to find in Isaiah chapter 6. I'm going to start from verse 1. It says, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him stood the seraphim. Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face. With 2 he covered his feet. And with 2 he flew. And one called to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." You guys, God is holy. This is so important. Kids, I'm gonna have a quick activity for you, and I'm gonna highlight 2 things with this concept and from this passage of God being holy. And then, kids, after I share the first one, I want you to go and follow the instructions I'm gonna give you. Get following that, all right? So listen closely. First, it's really important to understand the definition of holy. It's simple, guys. It's really simple. A simple definition that can really help us remember this is that holy is set apart. Set apart. It's unique. It's different. It's special. It's set apart. It's not like the others. And this is why a lot of times the opposite of a word can really help drill it in. The opposite of holy is not corrupt or defiled or sinful. The opposite of holy is common. To treat something, to treat someone like they're common, like they're just like anyone else, right? Just like anything else. Holy is set apart. And the way that it is phrased here in Scripture, this is only done a couple of times where a word is used for exclamation to show emphatic measurement of it. It's only done with a repeat of 3 times, a couple of times in Scripture, and that's talking about God being holy. This is something that's sung in the heavens, which is so beautiful because you think about how holy the heavens are, right? And compared to earth. And what they're saying is God is set apart from that which is set apart from that which is set apart. Right? And He is so holy there, you can't measure His holiness. He's as holy as it gets. And that's, you guys, that is so amazing. And so, kids, keeping this in mind, and this is something that you're going to have to remind us of, all right? So keep that in mind, because you're going to remind us of this in a week or 2 about God being holy. So go and look somewhere around the house. Go try to find something around the house that is unique. That you're going to find something where you're like, there's nothing else like this in the house. There's nothing else that is this in the house. And you're going to find that and then bring it back, all right? And you're going to share those with us. The second thing is, I want us to think about this opening where it's talking about King Uzziah. right? And I'm going to make this real quick because I want us to get into discussion. But King Uzziah, if you look in 2 Corinthians chapter 26, you'll see what happens to King Uzziah. And remember, he's a righteous king. They mention in the summary that he's a king that sought after God. And something crazy happens to him. God strikes him with leprosy. And they do it, you guys hear Avery? They do this, God does this because King Uzziah approached him in a way that he shouldn't have. He approached him in a way that undermined how holy God was. So feel free to turn to that in discussion, but I want us to get into it. I want us to take a moment, sit, reflect on what we're talking about here, and God being holy. We're going to respond with some reflection, and we're going to get into discussion. And in this discussion, as we talk about this concept of God being holy, and what does that mean, right, for God? What does that mean for us? How do we relate to this? You guys, this is going to be such a good discussion. And I'm telling you, as we do this, as we talk about it, and as we apply it to our lives, we will build relationships that change lives.